Hi, everybody. Hey, I'm glad you're here. We got a couple minutes. Oh, Barbara, I'm going to make you the host.
Okay,
Did you see that email you sent?
I did. I printed it
Okay,
out so that
thank you.
I have.
Thank you. Okay.
It may not be perfect, but I'll do it.
Yeah, yeah. And once I get through that, then it's all Q&A. So then,
Yeah,
um,
I do Q&A. I'm good at that.
am I good now? Like I'm not freezing up and I'm
No, you're good.
okay,
You're
good, good, good.
you're good.
Yeah.
Do,
Yeah,
do, do.
I feel like it's going to be all right. I'm manifesting.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
gonna be
have a
good.
strong signal for that. Okay.
That works.
I stopped the Zoom recording.
Yeah.
So, oh, shoot. Let
What?
me start the recording and then I'll make you host. You make me host again.
Okay. Well, you understand? I'm not sure how to do that, but we're gonna try.
Just hover over my name in the list of participants. Hi, Carol. Hi.
Let's see, people.
Carol, I have a weak, or well, not as strong as normal internet signal, so I'm preparing just in case I lose connection. Barbara will take over. Okay, so, all right, I'm the host. I'm going to start the Zoom recording. And then I'll turn the host over to you. And when we start, I just start right in with the training.
It was good.
And it's 59. Yeah, last week we had a pretty good group, pretty big group. People might join during in the next few minutes too, Barbara. That'll help to have
Mm-hmm.
someone else on the host. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. I'm going to Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Systems Rescue Power Hour. I am so happy that you are here today. And we are talking about lead magnet setup that attracts the right people. So, of course, people all say, oh, I need leads. I want leads in my business. And one of the best ways to get leads is a lead magnet. And that word is so perfect because it literally draws people to your business when you do it right. So that's all we're going to talk about today in this training. So this one matters a lot because if your lead magnet is attracting the wrong people or nobody at all, then everything becomes harder after that. And you can have a beautiful CRM, great automation, and amazing follow-up systems, but if the front door is not clear, the wrong people walk in or nobody does. And we just don't want that. So today, let's make this simple, supportive, and practical. No pressure, no judgment, just a clear look at how you can make your lead magnet actually work for you. Okay? So, why does this matter? Always want to cover in these trainings why this matters to you. And the lead magnet is the thing you offer in exchange for someone's contact information. You're giving them value that they need and want, and they are willing to exchange their name and email for that information. So that is the key to the whole thing. So it could be a guide, a checklist, a workbook, a video, for example, this training video right now, I could turn into a lead magnet and people would get sign up for it. So it could be a video. It could be a quiz, a free training, or a simple resource that helps them solve one small problem. And this is something that a trap that people fall into when they make a lead magnet. You are the expert of your area of your genre and business, and you want to There's so many layers of it and so much information you could share. When a lead magnet, you solve one specific problem that your ideal client has, and it keeps them up at night. It has to be a really serious problem, and you give them one piece of the complete solution, but you give them the complete piece of it all the way through. And sometimes people feel like they say, well, I'm giving away too much. You're not. You, I dare say you can't give away too much in a lead magnet. It's going to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. It's going to show them that they can do it, and they're going to trust you and believe that you're the right person to work with. And on top of that, they're almost never going to do it themselves. But it shows them that they can trust you to work with you and hire you. So here we go. And here's the whole key. Your lead magnet should attract the kind of person you actually want to serve. And ideally, if we can, even fine tune it more when they are close to making a buying decision. That would be nirvana. So let's at least first focus on attracting the right kind of person. Because if your lead magnet is too broad, then or it's too vague or too disconnected from your offer, then you might get leads. You probably will get leads, but not the right ones. And then you're spending time, wasting time, spinning wheels, talking to people that aren't going to buy because they're not your right customer. And then your follow up gets harder. Your sales process gets weaker. And your CRM starts collecting people who were never a good fit in the first place. So let's fix that. Step one, we have 7 steps. Step one, start with the right audience. Know exactly who this lead magnet is for. Before you create anything, ask, who am I trying to attract? What problem are they solving? This is the one that wakes them up at night. What stage of awareness are they in? Pardon me. What stage of awareness are they in? What do they need help understanding right now? This is important because your lead magnet is not for everybody. It's for the right somebody in the right situation right now. The clearer you are about who it's for, the better it will perform. Okay, step 2, solve one real problem. Choose one specific area of concern to solve, not 10 problems, which you could do. I know you could. Not a giant transformation. This lead magnet is not the transformation that everyone's looking for. It's very specifically one piece of all the issues that they have. Just one. So, for example, here we go. How to stop losing leads in follow-up is one very specific issue that business owners have. How to clean up your contact list. We talked about that last week. How to organize your CRM pipeline. Of course, these suggestions are lead magnet titles for my business. How to save time with automation. Everybody wants to save time. If you can save them time or money or make them feel important, that's going to be great. And if you can include action words, a promise of the final result, and numbers are really important in the title as well. How to know if your system is helping or hurting you. That's a good title because people wonder that all the time. The simpler the problem, the easier it is for the right person to say, yeah, that's me. And that's what you want. All right, step 3. Match the lead magnet to your offer. Make sure that the lead magnet connects directly to what you actually want to sell. This is where people sometimes go sideways. They create a freebie that gets attention, but it has nothing to do with the service, product, or support that they offer later in that same process. Lead magnet, offer. So the lead magnet is great, but it's not connected to the offer that you're ready to make. They create a seed. And so then, of course, they wonder why these leads don't convert. Then they decide these are bad leads. People don't like my offer. Um, Automation doesn't work. I hate this, right? This is very frustrating for business owners when you spend time, energy, focus, attention on something like a lead magnet, and then it doesn't perform, doesn't get you the result that you want. So here we are giving you the exact steps that you need to make all of that flow smoothly. The lead magnet should feel like it's just the first step in a journey, and that journey should continue along the same avenue, along the same thought process for them. It's not a random free download. It's not a disconnected idea all by itself floating out there. It should lead naturally into the next conversation, your next training, or your next offer. So ask these questions when you're considering this. Does this lead magnet support my main message? Does it lead into the kind of client that I want? Does it help people understand why they need more support? So, for example, with my business, does the lead magnet support my main message is everyone needs to automate their systems? First of all, you need systems, you need to automate the systems, and you are probably not the right person to build the systems and possibly maintain them. Does it lead into the kind of client that I want? The client that I want is entrepreneurs and business owners. They've been in business around 5 years, 3 to 5. They're profitable. They are selling their product. Things are going along fine and they're ready to scale. However, they look around and they realize, I can't take on more clients. I'm completely covered up just serving the clients that I have. How am I going to scale? How am I going to get more clients? That is who I want to reach with my lead magnet. And then the last one is, does it help people understand why they need more support? And my lead magnets always, they give you an answer to that one question, but then it all kind of opens up a Pandora's box of more questions. And it naturally leads them to realize, oh my gosh, I do need more support. So that's what you're looking for in a lead magnet. And that connection really matters. Oops. All right. So, step 4, make it easy to consume. This is so important. It's not a 17-page book. It's not something that they have to jump through 2 or 3 hoops to get to it. It has to be super easy for them to consume. And otherwise, they're going to jump and they're going to say, forget it. I don't have time for this solution to my problem. I have this problem I have to get to, right? So keep it simple and easy to use. A lead magnet does not have to be long to be valuable. In fact, sometimes the best ones are the shortest ones because they are easy to digest and act on. People are busy. They don't need another complicated download that takes a whole weekend to understand. This is a case where if you're doing that, you're trying to solve more than one issue and you're trying to pour a lot of your knowledge and expertise into that one thing, and it's too much for your lead to consume. They need something clear and helpful and quick to use. The quick to use is so, so important. So, for example, one checklist, one quick guide, one short video, one simple template, or one focused worksheet. And let me give you another piece of advice about this. When you're designing one of these, your brain would say, oh, but then they're going to need this. And I really want to tell them that. Make more lead magnets of all those thoughts that come into your head. Make a list and make each one into a lead magnet, because a lot of people think they just can have one lead magnet, and that is so wrong. You can have many lead magnets, and you can also use them to segment your list, separate people in your list, and identify their specific interest based on the lead magnet that they liked. So as you're working on one lead magnet and you get more ideas, make more lead magnets and use a variety. Make one a checklist, and one a quick guide, and one a short video, and one a template. And you can just track so much information about how those are performing. And then you realize my audience really likes worksheets more than any of these other things. So I'm just going to keep making worksheets, right? So there's a wealth of information in a lead magnet. So the goal is not to impress them. The goal is to help them. And a lot of us we get wrapped up in trying to impress people with how much we know as well. And that will come once they are able to use this lead magnet effectively and they get a little taste of what it's like to work with you, they will want more. So then you can impress them later. All right, step 5. Set up the delivery cleanly. This is so, again, it's just so important. Make sure the delivery process is smooth for them, no barriers, no friction. Because again, they're busy and they're consumed with this issue and they don't need to jump through hoops again, right? So when someone opts in, they should know exactly what happens next. They get the resource that they asked for immediately. They get the confirmation that they asked for it and then the confirmation that it's delivered. And then they get follow up on that same subject. Here's where a lot of people go awry as well. They do a lead magnet on this subject, and then the follow up, they start to introduce more pieces of information about what they do. They think that's a good idea, but this person that took this lead magnet needs to keep thinking about this subject. So your follow up stays on that subject. And here's another really great tip. Remember, I said numbers are fantastic for lead magnets for the title. And then, of course, you put the numbers in there. Like this has got 7 steps to build a lead magnet that attracts the right people. I could turn that into a checklist or a worksheet. So now that I have 7 things on my lead magnet, that gives the perfect introduction to 7 separate emails or follow ups that deal with each one of those things in a little more depth, not a giant depth, just a little more depth, so that you can reinforce that they wanted it and what was on that download. And so you're giving them a little more of your expertise, more of your knowledge, more education for them. They feel safer with you. They feel like they actually can conquer this issue, whatever it is. And if the lead magnet is great, but the delivery is messy, you lose momentum. So I'm going to say that again because both sides are equally important. If the lead magnet is great, but the delivery is messy, you're going to lose momentum. You're going to lose the lead. And if the lead magnet is supposed to start trust, the delivery should be just as trustworthy. So this is not only about the content itself, it's also about the system behind it. All right, step 6. Watch the quality of the leads that you're getting. Pay attention to the kind of leads that it attracts. This is where the feedback loop begins. Okay, ask yourself these questions. Are these people actually interested in what I do? Are they replying to emails? You can manage that in your database, in your CRM. You can get reports about who opens the emails. And of course, you've already got them separated and segmented into which lead magnet that they took. Are they booking calls? Are they taking the next step, either purchasing something or make an appointment with you, whatever the next step is? Or are they just collecting free stuff? Some people do that. They collect free stuff. They're just not really ready to make a move. They could be an analysis paralysis. They could be a lot of reasons why people do that. This is where you learn whether the lead magnet is aligned. When you start to analyze the data that you're collecting in your CRM about the new leads that you've attracted. A good lead magnet does not just get attention, It starts the right conversation. In my opinion, a good or great lead magnet converts people to become clients or to become referral partners or both. So, step 7, the last step, refine the lead magnet as you go. Here's another miss idea that business owners have. Once it's built, they have to leave it alone. And that is so far from the truth. You want to refine it, improve it, especially in a case where your business new technology comes along or new advances are coming along all the time. You need to keep your lead magnet fresh. So refine the lead magnet as you go. It does not have to be perfect the first time. Okay. In fact, most good lead magnets get better after you see how people respond to them. You realize I'm not pulling in the right person. For example, I want people in business 5 years, they're profitable, and they're ready to scale. But let's say, for example, my lead magnet is pulling in brand new business owners who just got a business license and just started. That is something wrong with my lead magnet. Maybe the title, maybe the content, maybe who I'm sharing it with. So it doesn't mean the leads are bad. It means the lead magnet is getting to the wrong people. Okay. So look at sign up rates, engagement, replies, next step conversions, meaning did they book an appointment? Did they move into a higher level of, did they complete a survey, second or third step into your process? And the quality of the people coming through. Are they looky-loos? Are they tire kickers? Are they people ready to make a move in their business? And then you make adjustments. Sometimes one small word can make a huge difference in the quality of the leads you're getting and all of that data that we were just talking about analyzing. Sometimes the topic needs to be narrowed, and sometimes the delivery needs to be simpler. It's okay. This is a process. All right. So here we're going to wrap it all up. If your lead magnet has not been working the way you hoped, I want you to know that does not mean that the idea is bad. Okay, so we just went through several reasons why your lead magnet could be attracting nobody, could be attracting the wrong people. It could be attracting the right people in the wrong stage of decision making. And it's not that your lead magnet is bad or that your product is bad or that people don't like you or that you're a bad business owner. Okay, none of that is true. It may just mean that the lead magnet needs to fit better and the message needs to be tightened up. Start by asking this: who is this really for? What problem does it solve? Ideally, that's going to be one that wakes them up at 3 a.m. and they can't sleep because of this problem. Does it connect with my offer? Remember, what it is you want to offer after needs to blend naturally with that lead magnet topic. Is it easy to consume? Huge, really important. Is the delivery smooth? And are the leads a good fit? So when you get these pieces lined up, your lead magnet becomes so much more than a freebie. It becomes a real part of your sales system strategy. Doesn't that sound better? On one hand, you're giving away your knowledge, and on the other one hand, this is the first step in a sales system strategy. I'll take that one every time. Thank you for being here today. I hope this gave you a little more clarity and a lot more confidence about where to begin. And remember, we're building these systems together, one simple step at a time. So this moves us now into the Q&A portion of the hour. And I've got some questions that people submitted in the email, but I always give preference to people that are here live. And the online audience gets to ask their questions first. So you can just unmute and go ahead and start. If you have more than one question, we'll go like a little round robin and everyone gets to ask. And then we go right back around.
Well, Rita, I'll ask a question. Right now, what are you hearing is the best response on a magnet type? You know, is it a video, a PDF download, a little short article? What
Uh,
is really getting the best response? Sign up to watch a video?
yeah. Carol, that is the $1 million question, isn't it?
I know reels are getting a lot of viewership, in
Mhm.
social media. It seems like it's all moving to video, reality
Y-
video.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Video is, some people say video is king. I believe video is absolutely paramount in your toolbox to um, really effectively. And it's not that someone made this rule, it is that is how people are behaving. People like video. They are watching videos. So therefore, we want to follow that attention and we make videos. And so anytime you can incorporate a video into, let's say your lead magnet is a checklist, which is a document, it's a piece of paper. In fact, every week when I teach on a subject in this Systems Rescue Power Hour, I have a checklist to go with it. So this checklist is going to have those 7 tips on it, and I'm going to send it to everyone that registered. So video combined with a document or an article or something like that is always fantastic. Now, where to put your video, right? That is, there are so many places. You can put a video into a follow-up email. And it can be super short. And it can say, for example, if I wanted to put a follow-up email for this training today, I could put it's a link in the email, not the actual video,
Right.
and say, man, I am so glad that you watched that training about lead magnets. And I feel like you are taking the very first really important step. Here's your checklist. It's attached right here. Go ahead and download it. Keep it safe for yourself. And the next step is you can, here's the upsell, and this can be in a video that goes in the email. You can, uh, let me think about how I would say it, but I would have a script. But I have a self-paced training where a couple of years ago I taught people how to build their own, it was a workshop, 3-piece workshop, build their own lead magnet step by step with real live people on the video. And you can get that because you were in the Systems Rescue Power Hour. I have a special rate of $19 for you. And the link to get that is right at the bottom of this email, right? So that video might be 2 minutes. And
Mhm.
it before they open the checklist, they see me and they hear me talk again, which is trust and know and like. And I introduce them why I'm sending them this upsell and what they're going to get out of it. And so I just gave myself an idea what I might want to do after this.
Okay. Sounds
But
good.
video, I'm going to say, is the hottest thing right now. However, if you have, for example, if you want to teach someone how to grow potatoes, that is definitely a step-by-step process, and that would be perfect for a checklist or a worksheet. They could use a worksheet to, you could help them design their garden and where the potatoes are going to grow based on the sun patterns. And so there are very specific kinds of lead magnets that lend themselves to the kind of information you want to deliver.
Mhm.
And, but video is a wonderful lead magnet and it's always a great companion to a lead magnet. And I believe you're right about reels.
Mhm.
Reels used to, it started out just fun, people doing fun things. And then some enterprising entrepreneurs realized, oh my gosh, people are watching these reels like crazy. I'm going to talk about my business in a reel. I'm going to
Yeah.
deliver invaluable content. Now, for example, from each one of these trainings every week, I get 7 to 15 reels out of it. For example, this one will be real easy because I'll get 7 reels out of the 7 steps.
Sure.
Then I'll get reels from the questions, and I'll get reels from the other important information in the training, and I can just share those. And they can have a button that says learn more, and then that leads people to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. Reels are very important. And one more thing before I move on to the next question. People love to see you in just real life. Like, I love to be here in my office with my pink and purple background and the perfect lighting. And
Mm-hmm.
however, if I would just jump on my cell phone and make a reel and say, I'm going into this networking meeting, it's always so much fun. I make power partner connections every time I come here. You should join me. That's it. That's about a 40 seconds of a reel and share that. And some people share, their hair's not cooperating today and they're not perfect and ideal, right? I got a flat tire on the road and look at me. I somehow got grease like head to toe and made a reel out of it, right? Right. So people love to see just real life stuff, not makeup, not perfect lighting, just that you are a real person, and that makes the trust go through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So video, that's
Yeah.
my answer.
Okay.
However, in very specific situations, almost any time a checklist or a worksheet or an article or something is still going to be a really good lead magnet too. And it's all testing. You
Sure.
you put it out there and then you see what kind of responses you get. And you like in the training, you watch the quality of the leads that you're getting, and if they align correctly with the ones you were trying to attract, because then you can tweak your lead magnet
Mhm.
to be more effective.
Okay.
Thank you, Carol. What a great question.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so um, all right, who on the video, if you don't have a question right now, that's okay. I've got some questions that came in through the email, and everyone on the replay and live. If you want to ask a question on this show and maybe you just can't be here at 12 o'clock on Thursdays, okay, we have a hand raised in the audience here. You can always email questions to me at info@ Rita Thomas Enterprises.com. So you email me your questions. I'm going to repeat that here in just a second, and then I'll answer it on the broadcast and you'll be able to see it in the replay. So that email is info@ Rita Thomas Enterprises.com. And I'll put that in the chat too while Heshi is asking her question.
Well, sorry, I was a little late and I was so disappointed that I had to finish up with something else because last week was so good and it was so chock full of information. I couldn't wait to get on. And then this other thing I had to be on. It was like, okay, I've finished up already so I can get on to Rita. So I didn't get Carol's question, and I'd like to know what the question was because I got part of the answer, but I didn't get the question.
Very good. So her question was, what is the best type of what type of lead magnet is getting the most attention or the best results right now? For example, checklist, worksheet, article, video, pre-training, that kind of thing. And my answer was video, but in every possible way that you can use a video. If you're going to send a checklist, go ahead and throw a video in with it. If you're going to do a free training, then put it out on social media as little real snippets of what they're going to get. And because I believe that we are a video society now, and people, here's something to remember about your videos. You want to always have captions. And make sure, for example, I have a white blouse on. So make sure I would make sure the font on mine is thick enough, but also that the words are not white. So you watch what you're doing with your captions. There's a lot of options wherever you're going to put captions on. And here's why, because people watch videos in places where they can't have sound. Maybe at work, maybe they're holding a sleeping baby. Maybe their spouse is watching TV and they don't want to disturb, but they watch videos without sound a tremendous amount, a percentage of time. It's not rare, but it's a whole lot less when people watch video with sound. So if you don't put captions, they won't know what you're saying. So that's very, very important. And Heshi, um, thank you for asking about that. Well, it's so great to be able to recap what that first question was. Did you also bring a question?
A million.
A million. You know, that's so funny because I met Heshi in a women's coaching group, business coaching group, and every week there would be training exactly like this. And they would say, what's your question? And I'd be like, there's one question. How am I going to have only one question? And I completely understand what you're talking about, Heshi, that you have a million. And that's actually a good place to be because you're diving in, you're very excited about what you can do for society or your community or your audience, and you have so much knowledge to share, which I know you do, that you might feel like I don't know the first place to look. Where do I put my attention first, right?
Okay, so the question, um, the program I was just on took my breath away because it was a brand new, I've been watching this same company over and over. I've gone to their 3-day summits again and again. And sometimes the speakers are usually the same, but the content is sometimes different. But today I was blown away by a new presentation, and it was about video cloning.
Oh,
And it was, um, he showed some videos that I almost fell off my chair. They were so funny. So, is that something you're going to be doing in the future?
oh, yes, I am. I've already signed up with one video, a special effects video kind of thing that I can use. And again, it's attention. And if you can't get their attention, you cannot get your message to them. So I believe in those, um, anything we can do to enhance our video, mostly staying true to yourself in real life at the same time.
Well, you always do that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So
All
when are
right.
you going to do that?
That
It's like
will
putting
not
you on the spot.
this year for sure you'll
Oh, this
see more.
year. Oh
Yes.
my God, there's so much
And
time to go.
I know that's true. Every month, though, I teach on a different platform in the Business Growth Collaborative. I teach about AI, and I'm going to incorporate some of those video effects, that enhancement effects, in some of that AI training as well.
You know
Because I
what
have to do it if I recommend it, right?
yes, and what I like about the way you do things is that you are calmly intentional about what you do. Domar was going so fast that, and I don't know how to do things in slow motion because I can listen to the replay, and if you want to listen, I will share it with you. But it was like he went so fast, I was like, and I'm fast, but I was losing my mind. But when you do it, you take time to make sure that you don't go on until everybody understands
Yes.
what what the last step was that you were explaining, and I love that about you.
Thank you. Thank you. And so, right. And even in this video series where I just now talked about the lead magnet setup, there's it's like peeling an onion. There's so much more about lead magnets that I could tell you, but you have to train yourself to stay in just that one subject, because this video right here could be a lead magnet. So thank you, Heshe. I so appreciate the feedback that you give me to say that the way I teach is something that you enjoy. I appreciate that.
Doesn't scare me.
Yes. And see, well, that's part of the whole funnel godmother persona, because people were telling me from the very beginning that you're so patient and kind, and I'm calm. And when I'm teaching, and I give people the time to absorb that concept before we move on to the next one. And I just feel like that's really the perfect place for me, is to be teaching people technology and in a way that they can understand. And that leads right into, for you here live or the people in the replay, there is more that you can do with me. I have a monthly membership called the Automation Nation, and we go every week on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock, and it's office hours. And so not only do I answer your question, but we'll put right up on the screen and say, okay, share your CRM. I'll show you exactly where to click. And you get hands-on the answer that you need directly in your CRM. And you don't have to be using the same one that I use. So that is Automation Nation, and I will share in the description how you can get more information about that too. Okay, so now, Barbara, did you have a question before we go to the audio or the emails?
I do not have a question at the moment. I have some things I'm like, yeah, I have ideas, but not that I have a question right now.
Well, I'll tell you the one you asked. Now, Barbara is a private client of mine, and Barbara and I meet every week, and she brings me some doozies. And so the one we tackled yesterday, I'm going to answer that question, even though I
That'll
answered
work.
it yesterday for you. I'm going to answer this question for everyone, because this is something that will save so much time for you and also give you peace of mind. Here's something I did not know when I bought a CRM system with the automation for my business. I did not know that you could give somebody money and they would give you back peace of mind. Never did I ever think you could, quote, buy peace of mind, but that's what you can do with the CRM. And for example, everyone here today, everyone who's ever registered for this training got a 24-hour reminder yesterday and a 1-hour reminder today. And I didn't have to send those out. I was preparing myself for the training and preparing my environment to deliver the training, and I did not have to send out those reminders. So the question that Barbara asked yesterday, and it's funny, it's kind of funny because she preempted it and said, I know that Go High Level, that's the database that she uses and I use. She said, I know it can do all kinds of great stuff, but I think I have something that's going to stump it. And I said, okay, let's do this. And so what she wanted to do is when somebody books a very specific appointment with her, because you can set up your calendar system in your CRM to have different kinds of appointments. They're a different length of time. Sometimes they're in on Zoom, sometimes they're in person. So when they book this very specific kind of appointment, it's a BNI follow-up, or it's a BNI one-to-one meeting. In BNI, you're both required to send each other this specific set of documents ahead of time so you can get to know the person before the call starts. She said, when they book that appointment, I want to send them these 3 documents of mine and ask them to send me theirs. And she said, I just don't know how that would work. And actually, her CRM Go High Level and many CRMs can handle this. And this is how it works. We have a media storage area in Go High Level where we put the 3 documents. And then in the email, we wrote out the body of the email to say, here are my 3 documents, and I would appreciate if you would send me yours by, click reply and send me yours. And then inside that email setup, we just said attach a document, attach a document, attach a document, and each one of those three we pulled straight from the media source. And the beauty of this is every time someone books that appointment, it could be 3 in the morning, your time. It could be a Sunday when you're at church. It could be any time that they are clicking on that appointment link to book that appointment at their convenience, that email is going to go out and they're going to receive, well, it's going to go out 24 hours before the appointment. They're going to receive her documents and they're receiving her request to send your documents. And now I will even take that a step further. We didn't build this yet, but I would say maybe 6 or 8 hours later, send them a reminder to please send you their documents because she needs those to review well in advance of the actual meeting. So you don't want to receive them 10 minutes before the meeting. So you can automate the sending of her documents, the request for their documents, and a follow-up reminder to send them. And then you can also tell your computer system, your CRM, if they did send them to me, don't send that email. How much do you love receiving a reminder to do something that you already did? Right? Nobody likes that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Right? Here's what happens when you remind someone to do something that they already did. They have to stop and they go, wait, I thought I did that. And so now their train of thought is off whatever they were working on. And then they have to say, shoot, I really want to, and I thought I did. Maybe I had to pay for something. And then they go to their checkbook and check and see if it went through. They go to their emails and find out, oh, and then when they find out, oh, I did do that. Now I'm frustrated with the person that sent me off on this wild goose chase, right? You reminded me to do something that I already did, and now you've wasted my time. And that is not the kind of attention that you want from a lead or a prospect or a client or referral. No. So when you set up the automation to send that reminder, you tell the system if they already did it, then don't send this reminder. And that's pretty complex, too much for this discussion right now, how you would set up that, tell the computer to ignore it if they already sent it, but it can be done. And Barbara did not foil the CRM today. So, all right, let's see. Any more questions? Because I have a real doozy that came in from the email and I'm excited to answer it. But if we have more questions from uh, the people here in the meeting.
I wanted to just follow up with that. Sometimes this with in note with what Barbara was asking and you were answering, if someone has already received it, has paid for it, has done whatever, would it enhance it if you were to send out a note that, the CRM or whatever it is takes note of it and says, thank you for being one of the few that actually took action and got it done in time?
Yes, yes, absolutely. You can even tell the system uh, when they do it, send this thing, and you can quantify it to say before this date or after this date, send a different message. So before this date would be the deadline, you send the one you just mentioned that said, thank you for being one of the few people that took the initiative to get this done before the deadline. And then you write a different email to the people who got it done after the deadline and you don't chide them or anything. You just say, thank you for being one of the few people to actually respond. Your input matters or whatever, but we don't address the fact that they did it after the deadline. We just still thank them because we don't want to make them feel bad. But
So
yes,
you say you have to have two different lists where you do that, so you separate them out?
good question. No, you need each person in your database only one time. So That's a very good question. A lot of people might feel like, oh, I need them in here this way and that way. You just need the person in there once, but then the actions that you take are based on their behavior. And if they behave this way, they go, it's almost like a fork in the road. If they behave this way, they go down that road. If they behave that way, they go down that road, but it's still only one contact. They're on one list.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure there was some sort of way to separate them.
Yeah, and it's by tags. It's either by tags or it's by them clicking on a button. If they clicked on this button before this date, then say this. If they clicked on the button after this date, then they say that. And you can tell the computer also, if they never clicked on the button, then do this. Send this reminder 2 days after the deadline or something like that.
I'm probably not the only one who is technologically challenged. So
Yeah,
I love your
yeah,
honest, complete answers that
yeah.
they're just so simple to understand. But sometimes I
Thank you.
hesitate asking questions because I'm not on that spectrum of very advanced techies.
Right. And a lot of people who know how to do what I do, they again, we can fall into that same trap where we want to impress you with everything that we know, and we get that technical jargon going higher and higher, and we go deeper and deeper into the subject because it's something we really enjoy. So it's very easy to do that. And I really appreciate that feedback, Heshi. That's so helpful to me to know that I just need to keep going the way I've been going. Yeah. So the question that came in by email was, okay, look, thank you for teaching us how to build a lead magnet, but then what do I do with it? What do I do with it? How does this thing that I created in Canva, maybe you can create a checklist in Canva. Now, how do people find it? Right? So obviously, you can't hide your light under a bushel, right? You need to put that lead magnet out where people are going to see it. The right people are going to see it. And there are many, 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 many ways that you can share your lead magnet. And think of this not like sharing it with 5 or 6 people or 500 people. You want to share it with 5,000 or 10 or 50 or 100,000 people, okay? As long as you're sharing it in the right places. Because first, you want to share it. I'm going to tell you how in just a second. That's the answer to the question. But first, you want to share it to places where the person is going to be looking, the right person. And let's say you have a lead magnet that's heavily business related. For example, one that I would have or Barbara would have. And it would have something that a CEO or a director of finance or something would be interested in. You're not going to put that on TikTok probably. You're not going to, you might put it on X, but for sure I would put it on LinkedIn. That is where those people go to consume that kind of information. And that is kind of the playground where that belongs. Now, if I had a sourdough, what's that thing, starter, right? A sourdough starter recipe with you can join my group of sourdough sisters and we're all going to help each other and talk about it. I would put that on Facebook, Instagram, and maybe TikTok because that's the kind of environment where that person is hanging out looking for that kind of information. And here's the other trick that could be the same person when they're on LinkedIn, they're in business mode and they're looking for this kind of information. But that same woman, let's say, she's an executive, but she wants to make some sourdough and have fun, right? With some girlfriends. So she'll still be on these other platforms in a completely different mood, a completely different frame of mind, looking for some friends that want to make sourdough with her. So it doesn't have to be uh, one person can only be on one platform. Now, here's how you can share your lead magnet. I have 9 places. Let's make sure I can enumerate all 9 of them right now. So you can share it in a social media post. You can put it on a YouTube short. You can mention it when you're interviewed on a blog, not a blog, a podcast. Someone interviews you on a podcast, they almost always ask, how can people reach you? How can they learn more about you? That's where you share your lead magnet. You can, I said your email signature block. You can put it, you can write a blog about it and include it as a download from your blog. But remember, anytime you let someone download your lead magnet, you get their information. You don't just say, here it is, the whole world, and they can just download it. So you need their information so you know who they are and you know that you can serve them at a higher level down the road. So, um, email, YouTube Shorts, interviewed on a podcast, share it in your own blog. And when you're in a meeting like this, even, or a networking meeting online, or any kind of Zoom where where it's appropriate, you can share your lead magnet in the chat. As long as you can feel that you can read the room, right? There's some Zooms where it wouldn't be right to share your lead magnet in the chat, but other rooms it is. When they say to you, everybody put in your name and what you do, and if you have an offer, throw it right in there in the chat. That's when you can share your lead magnet. So that's 5. In your book, if you have a book, just right at the very beginning or the end or both, you can put a link to your lead magnet right there in your book if you're an author. And let's see, anyone, now I've given you some ideas. Anyone can think of the last 3 ways that you can share your lead magnet. That I haven't mentioned already. Well, if you have a YouTube channel and you're doing shorts, you can make a whole YouTube video about that subject. You can train on that subject and then offer the download in the description. You can, of course, if you ever, so I was on a radio show. I've been on 2 different radio shows and so much fun, a little nerve-wracking. And when I was on both of them, I was allowed to share, so television or radio. If the news comes and wants to interview you at your business place, or you are doing some community outreach and they say, oh, we want to feature you, you can just very easily, you are not selling anything. Remember, you're not selling, you're giving something away of great value. And you can say, okay, Barbara has to go. So you can say, listen, I have this free resource. A lot of people find it valuable. You can get it right here and boom, and make sure that the link that you offer is very easy to say and easy for them to remember and type in. So that is 8 places. You can also, look what I'm doing right here. I use the right finger in the right direction. There, right there. You can share your lead magnet on your virtual background for Zoom meetings and at vendor shows, right, Carol? Carol does vendor shows, and Barbara has done vendor shows. And I have as well chamber events where I get a table, and speed networking events where I've had a table. And you can take your lead magnet, the link where people download it, turn it into a QR code, and that is a super easy and effective way for people to grab that lead magnet and give you their name and email. They're moving on down to talk to someone else, and now they're in your database. So we do have 9 ways that you can share your lead magnet. And I bet people, if you think of more ways that I didn't mention, put them in the comments, and so we'll all get to see them. And now, Heshi, got your hand up?
Well, I was thinking of 2 places. Let's see if I could remember one. If you're if you're in a networking group that's in Zoom, you can put it in the chat, especially if they say, is there anyone who wants to give anything away for free?
Yep.
I
Yep.
did have another one.
And a live networking as well. You can mention it. You can have in your possession the QR code, or you can hand something out to people that say, hey, I want that thing. You can hand them something or let them use your QR code in a live networking as well. Good one. Good one.
I'll think of the other one before you've got to end in 2 minutes.
Okay. So today our training was on the lead magnet setup that attracts the right people. And I'm just thrilled at the questions that we had from the live audience today and the ones that came in the email. And again, if you want to ask a question and you either can't be here or you want to send it to me before you forget, I totally get that. And the email is info@RitaThomasEnterprises.com. And I'll repeat that again. Info@RitaThomasEnterprises.com. Now we're going to be back here next week. We do this every week. And on Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And right here is where you can register. Just use that QR code, and I'll say that link out loud right now. HTTPS, and then a colon, and 2 slashes, bit.ly, so that's a bit.ly, slash, and all 4 of these words have 1 capital letter at the beginning, Systems Rescue Hour. So I'll say the whole thing again, HTTPS, colon, 2 slashes, bit.ly, and then 1 slash, Systems Rescue Hour. And each of those 4 words has 1 capital letter at the beginning. And we are at our time. Keshi, did you remember your question? Because we actually can go longer. We did that last week. We stayed on because we had such a lively discussion going on.
This isn't the question I was going to ask, but do you have that list of your 9 that you're going to make available?
Oh, what does that seem like? Maybe a good lead magnet, huh?
Ah,
Yes, I have that list. Yes.
so how do we get it?
Well, since I know you and I have your email address, I can send that to you.
Great.
I'll be happy to do that. And it's also part of the documents that you get when you join Automation Nation. I have a host of all kinds of really helpful documents like that, and they are included with your Automation Nation membership as well. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's 1
Thank you,
o'clock.
Rita.
We'll be
That was
back
very
next
good.
Thursday at 12 o'clock.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Carol, I was talking.
Well, that's okay. I just said thank you. It was really good.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got
we'll
some
see you
ideas.
soon.
I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll see you.
So
Bye-bye.
Rita,
Hmm?
may I give you a testimonial?
Oh, yes, let me stop this recording. Thank you. And I'll start a new one.
Now, I wasn't on for the beginning, so maybe I need to make this more generic and say I'm looking at my notes because I have them all over the place.
You could just talk about how you feel and how this